Coming up on today's show, Tesla gets a $1 trillion valuation as it announces a massive new deal with Hertz and Uber to get as many as 200,000 Model 3s on Hertz's fleet. Lucid stock takes off as the company confirms its first deliveries will happen this weekend. And everyone and their dog seemingly signs a deal for solid-state battery goodness. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. The season of spooks is upon us, and unlike last year's Halloween special, Ms. Dearheart is taking the year off. Although I did check she's doing okay. She's got a bottle of gin and is singing she shanties in my cupboard. This show is sponsored by the Electric Auto Association. Stick around until the end of the show to find out how joining the EAA can help you finance your own clean energy or transportation purchase. Fresh from its Q3 earnings last week, Tesla announced a massive new deal this week with Hertz that not only marks the start of the rental company's transition to electric cars, but also resulted in Tesla's share price soaring to a market cap of more than $1 trillion. Accompanied by a brand new ad campaign featuring Tom Brady, Hertz is going all in on EVs with an initial order of 100,000 Model 3 sedans from Tesla to be delivered over the next 14 months, and the option to double that to 200,000 Model 3s as required. In addition to being made available on its public rental fleet, Hertz has also inked a deal with Uber that will see the rideshare service make Tesla Model 3s available to Uber drivers for about $300 per week. Elon Musk confirmed that Tesla did not give Hertz special treatment or discounts. Some people have expressed concern that this order will delay private customer orders for Model 3 and Model Y, but we do know Tesla is planning to dramatically expand its production next year. I made an in-depth video on this story, so check out the link below for more info. German solar electric car startup Sono Motors has been edging its Sion solar electric car ever closer to production, and this week it confirmed it has reached 15,000 reservations for the same. What marks the Sion apart from other EVs in the marketplace is not its crowd-funded origins, or indeed its innovative solar panel-adorned body panels. It's the starting price of its vehicle, the equivalent of $25,600 after incentives. That is substantially more than the sub-$20,000 price it was first given when it debuted as an engineering concept back in 2017, but still far more affordable than most EVs on the market today. But as it reaches production, Sono has announced the almost inevitable price rise to $28,600 after incentives when it reaches its 16,000th reservation, or on November 15th, whichever happens first. Amazon's all-electric delivery vehicles, produced by Rivian for Amazon, are part of the megacorporation's plans to make itself a little cleaner and greener, while simultaneously satisfying the world's insatiable appetite for buying things they really don't need with one-day delivery. This week, we learned via a filing with the US National Highway Traffic Safety Administration that, contrary to popular opinion, there will be multiple versions of the electric delivery van, and some may even be available for non-Amazon fleet use. The EDV 500, EDV 700, and EDV 900 all have different capacities and ranges, with the EDV 900 getting the shortest range but largest carrying capacity. A choice of single-motor front, dual motor front, or dual motor all-wheel drive will be offered. Having driven the R1T, link below, I would love to test one of these out. Just over a month after it had held a ceremony to mark the start of series production at its Casa Grande facility in Arizona, the very first Lucid Air Sedan Dream Editions are being delivered. Lucid announced midweek that the first customers were scheduled to get their cars on October 30th, and as a consequence, the company's share price soared 47% on Thursday. While Lucid isn't saying exactly how many cars it's made to date, we do know that only 520 Lucid Air Dream Editions, the launch spec limited edition variant of the Lucid Air Sedan, will be made. Next year, Lucid says it will produce 20,000 examples of its luxury car and has officially set the date of its first public earnings report to go public after it went public earlier this year via a SPAC. Scheduled to take place on November 15th, we will of course be paying close attention. Hyundai and Kia's parent company, which frustratingly also goes by the name Hyundai, has just announced a new partnership and strategic investment that will see both brands test a new generation of solid-state batteries made by Factorial Energy. One of a number of solid-state battery specialists, Factorial Energy's developed a solid electrolyte battery cell, which it says offers between 20 to 50% longer range per charge and dramatically improved safety characteristics when compared to lithium-ion batteries of a similar physical size, all while retaining cost parity with current lithium-ion batteries. At the moment, Factorial says it has produced 40 amp-hour cells that perform well at room temperature, and the new partnership with Hyundai will see Factorial cells tested in Hyundai and Kia-badged EVs, test vehicle integration, and co-developed plans for large solid-state production in the future. Watch this space. Tesla's FSD beta program has been pushing out incremental updates at an increasingly frequent rate as more and more customers gain access to the public beta program. FSD Beta 10.3 was supposed to roll out last Friday, but a problem with the software was found, causing an issue with, quote, left turns at traffic lights. After Elon Musk took to Twitter to point out that, quote, this has to be expected with beta software, adding, quote, it is impossible to test all hardware configurations in all conditions with internal QA, hence public beta, end quote. A few days later, FSD 10.3 did roll out, and Tesla has confirmed that version 10.4 is coming this time next week, if all goes well. The issues with 10.3's initial rollout doesn't look good for the company, but then if Apple can roll out a brand new version of Final Cut Pro to customers that causes YouTubers to take 3 full days to produce a news roundup show, I guess Tesla can experience bugs too. Early adapter woes? Euro NCAP published its latest crash test results this week, and 2 all-electric models sat at the top of the 5-star list, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Scoring 88% for adult occupancy and 86% for child occupant safety, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 fared less well for pedestrian safety, 63%, but scored a respectable 88% for its advanced driver assistance features. Meanwhile, Ford's Mustang Mach-E came out top of the list with a 92% adult occupant and 86% child occupant score, with its pedestrian safety and advanced driver assistance features scoring at 69% and 82% respectively. It's time for SEMA, the All-American Custom Car and Hot Rod event in Las Vegas, and that means that a number of custom and high-power electric models will be on display. The Hummer all-electric EV, due to launch next year, will be in attendance, with GMC due to showcase 3 Edition 1 models, 1 SUV and 2 pickups, along with a selection of more than 200 Hummer-branded accessories that the company says will be available when the truck goes on sale. For SEMA, they will include a retractable tonneau cover, off-road recovery kit, roof-mounted 50-inch light bar, cargo management rails, and more. You might think that 200 accessories at launch is a bit much for any new vehicle, but considering the Hummer nameplate and how it's being marketed at fairly wealthy individuals, it seems completely on brand to go all out on customization. GMC wants you to make your truck your own. SK Innovation, fresh from producing a major partnership with Ford that will see the two build multiple gigafactories for EV battery packs, has signed a joint development and a memorandum of understanding with Solid Power that will see the two develop solid-state battery packs. Just like the previous solid-state story in today's show, this announcement will see Solid Power and SK Innovation work together to commercialize solid-state batteries in the near future. The first step, we're told, is to develop develop a solid-state battery using NCM cathode materials and high-content silicon anodes, which Solid Power believes could reach an energy density of 930 watt-hours per litre or higher, which is a 33% improvement on current lithium-ion chemistries. If successfully completed, the collaboration will then see scale production tests to confirm Solid Power's cells can be produced on existing lithium-ion production lines. Eventually, Solid Power will use SK On, SK Innovation's battery arm, to produce solid-state batteries at high volumes. The ongoing legislative quagmire that is the Biden administration's Build Back Better proposal, which has suffered some pretty big setbacks in its time in both houses, has been released in an updated text form, a version that President Biden says he thinks can pass both houses of Congress. There had been a fear among EV advocates that, as part of major attempts to appease lawmakers and achieve consensus on Capitol Hill, a proposed $12,500 federal tax credit for EVs would be cut. But according to the latest text as published by the White House, it's still there. That said, it's not all plain sailing. While the new EV tax credit would make up to $12,500 available for the purchase of electric vehicles, it would only apply to cars made in the US by a unionized US workforce. This means many cars, including Tesla's entire lineup, would not be eligible for the full amount. I should remind you that the bill does have to still make it through both houses before becoming law. And now it's time for Short Shorts. The Tesla Model 3 was officially Europe's best-selling car last month, not just electric or luxury, but best-selling full stop. With 24,591 examples sold, it outsold plenty of more affordable models. The Volkswagen ID.6, a 7-seat SUV based on the MEB platform that was designed for, manufactured in and sold as a Chinese-only model, could now be making its way to Europe. Business Insider reports that 15,000 ID.6 cars are expected to be imported to Europe by Volkswagen next year. Authorities in Brandenburg, Germany have given Tesla preliminary approvals in the long and arduous process that has been the commissioning of Giga Berlin. While the facility is finished, Tesla can't produce cars there until everything has been made official. The London Metropolitan Government has officially extended the ultra-low emission zone, meaning more citizens now face charges to use older internal combustion engine vehicles there. Meanwhile, London's congestion charging zone, a different, smaller area, has begun charging plug-in hybrid owners to drive into it. Tesla has officially submitted paperwork to NHTSA to begin a 2,700 vehicle recall to rectify a potential suspension issue with affected Model 3 and Model Y cars. A loose lateral link fastener is to blame. BP and Piaggio Group have announced a new partnership which will see the two companies develop a set of services for all-electric 2- and 3-wheelers in Europe and in Asia. Battery swap stations and battery-in-a-service solutions will be included. New Flyer has announced it's received an order for up to 150 battery electric buses from Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority of Buffalo, New York. People joke about electric vehicles not liking water, and as we've proven several times, that's just not true. But Mercedes-Benz is recalling just under 20,000 EQC electric SUVs because of water ingress into the steering control unit, which makes it not work. Alaska Air has announced a new collaboration with ZeroAvia to develop a hydrogen powertrain for a 76-seat zero-emission aircraft. The partnership will see a 3-megawatt fuel cell system integrated into a DCH-8 Q400 aircraft. Taiwanese company Prologium has announced a major $326 million of new financing to help it commercialize its solid-state lithium ceramic batteries. The funding will help it build mass production facilities in Europe, Asia, and North America. Airport operators in Rome, Venice, Bologna and Nice, along with Volocopter, have announced the creation of a new company called Urban Blue. It will focus on building and operating brand new veliports for eVTOL aircraft services in Italy, France and beyond. BYD is reportedly about to raise the price of its automotive-grade lithium-ion battery packs by 20% due to a rise in raw material costs. The company currently supplies several different types of cells, including LFP ones. Ahead of this week's COP26 conference in Glasgow, a slew of oil companies and oil-producing nations have pledged to go net zero, but have stopped short of actually committing to end oil production and refinement. That's frankly disappointing. General Motors has pledged to expand access to electric vehicle charging infrastructure with what it's calling a new dealer community charging program. It will fund 40,000 charging stations, mostly level 2, which frankly feels a bit meh. It's official, Panasonic has just become Canoo's battery supplier. While the electric startup has yet to begin series production of its modular lifestyle vehicle and pickup, Panasonic's heritage in the EV battery world really does add credence to Canoo's offerings. Canadian electric vehicle specialists Lion Electric has just received its biggest order yet. The order, a 1,000 vehicle conditional order from Student Transport of Canada, is based on STC receiving a grant from Canada's Zero Emission Transportation Fund. Panasonic has officially revealed its version of the 4680 form factor cell that Tesla announced last year during its Battery Day. As Tesla's primary battery partner, this is an important milestone and test production will begin early next year. Tesla has yet again increased the price of its Model S and Model X, following a similar price rise last week for Model 3 and Model Y. The Model S long range now starts from an eye-watering $94,990. The fire department in Normal, Illinois was called to the Rivian assembly plant midweek to extinguish a small fire that had ignited in Rivian's automated battery assembly area. Neither the factory nor the production line were damaged. US-based Rad Powerbikes is celebrating a brand new cash injection of $154 million, making it the most funded electric bike company in the world. It's expected Rad Powerbikes will use the funds to further its US manufacturing. Vietnamese company VinFast, part of the wider Vin Group, has announced its intention to bring its electric vehicles to Europe and North America. Right now it produces a range of electric two-wheelers and four-wheelers, and its flagship E34 electric car is due to go on sale in Vietnam later this year. Chinese firm Autoflight has announced the successful completion of the maiden test flight of its eVTOL aircraft, named V1500M. Based out of Shanghai, it makes various other electric aircraft, but this is its first eVTOL model. Maruti Suzuki India, a company that's long been known for making affordable cars for the Indian market, has announced that it will now cease producing any new petrol vehicles from 2025. It will go electric instead. Staying in India, Mahindra, who we visited a few years ago in Bengaluru, has announced that it expects one half of its auto sales in India to be EV by 2030. Since our visit, it really has improved its electric vehicle offerings. King County in Washington State has announced that it will be buying a Kenworth T680E big rig for use in its waste management fleet. It will be one of the first waste management services in the US to switch its fleet to electric vehicles. Volvo Construction Equipment showcased a new concept this week called the LX03. It's a fully autonomous zero-emission front loader that was, in its early days, prototyped in Lego, or Legos as though in North America like to call them. Now, that is imaginative construction. Audi has announced an expansion to its high-voltage battery development program, and it will be building a new centre of competency at its Naxxlum engineering facility in Germany. It plans to build a battery centre for testing high-voltage storage technology as well. The US Justice Department is nearing a deal with Stellantis over the part played by the then Fiat Chrysler automobiles during the Dieselgate crisis of 6 years ago. It will plead guilty to fraud surrounding emissions of diesel-powered Ram pickups and Jeeps. Meanwhile, another segment of the US judicial body, the Supreme Court, has said it will consider a case which wants to prevent the EPA from enacting sweeping environmental protections in order to try and limit the effects of anthropogenic climate change. As several people on our team said, the planet can die as long as we don't hurt the wealth of billionaires. I cannot put into words how angry the whole team is about that one. And those are your short shorts. There will be more next week. As we have quickly discovered in the age of Tesla, the benefit of over-the-air software updates for electric vehicles are wide and varied. You don't have to visit a dealership or a service centre every time there's an improvement or bug fix for your car, and when new features are developed, you can get them even if your car is a few years old. Although Tesla is the king of OTA, we've seen plenty of automakers join OTA world, including Volkswagen, Polestar, Volvo and Ford. But Audi? Well, Audi is still relying on in-person dealership visits to roll out a software update for its early e-tron SUVs, with about 30,000 e-tron 55 Quattro owners told this week that there's a new software update capable of improving their car's range by 5%. Sadly, though, you'll have to go to the Audi dealership to have it applied. Still, you do get to go further per charge afterwards, so... And finally, Chinese electric car company XPeng has long fashioned itself on Tesla, promising high-tech cars with innovative features. And just like Tesla and many other automakers this year, it's just held its annual Technology Day. At it, we saw plenty of new technology, including a new super-fast charging tech that adds a claimed 124 miles, 200 kilometers of range in just 5 minutes. But the thing that really caught our attention from the day was a fully autonomous robotic unicorn that was marketed as being your best friend. It did look like it was designed for children, but screw it. If we had to choose between a faceless Tesla bot and a unicorn with an animated face that we could sing the unicorn song with, I'm gonna go with a unicorn, especially if it had a built-in ice cream dispenser. You know. And on that note, we are done for the day. But before I go, I would like to thank the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967, and they firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EAA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make your own switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator and point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you become a member, you'll gain access to a new clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EAA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to electricauto.org. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell, both for this channel and Transport Evolved Take 2. Don't forget to visit our swag store, and if you're feeling chatty, do check out our Discord server. It's free and the link is below. We are always welcoming of new Patreon supporters, or if you like, you can send us something through Ko-fi or Bitcoin. We are still trying to raise some pennies for a new video editor, so if you can, we would love it if you would help us out. On Monday next week, I become the answer to life, the universe, and everything, and so I am going to take the day off. Well, almost. I'm planning a special live stream at 10 a.m. Pacific on Monday, so come and join in the festivities, chew the fat, and ask me all the questions. Until next time, thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving!